This episode of Derapy is brought to you by AC. What are derps? Like the video.
Derapy. I'm going to be honest with y'all, I really didn't even know who Benzino was, and the funniest thing is, when you go to his Wikipedia page, you are very, very quickly met with details about his feud with Eminem. I think it's safe to say that, honestly, it was the biggest thing that happened to him in his career, and it was just a colossal L. No joke, if you check out Benzino's Wikipedia, first thing you see is when he was born, where he's from, says that he's a media proprietor. His career, it talks about him being the founder of a rap group called the Almighty RSO. I'll be honest, I didn't know about that. Talks about him being a part of Made Men. Didn't know about that group either. And he has appeared on the reality television show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta since 2012. That is all you get about Benzino. And then directly after, it's like feud with Eminem. So I guess that's where we'll pick it up. Everywhere I look, I see that this feud began when the Eminem Show, which was released in 2002 and is one of his best-selling and most critically acclaimed albums of all time. Apparently, that album was given a 4 out of 5 by The Source magazine. Now, look, I was born in 1996, so considering this album came out when I was 6 years old... I can't tell you exactly what the reception was like at the time, but when you talk about Eminem today, many people say that this was him in his prime, and I've gone back and listened to the album for context. It's dude is rapping his ass off. Like, there are not many other human beings that could rap the way that Eminem was on the Eminem Show. Now, Eminem simply was pissed because he thought that his album was a masterpiece. Many Eminem fans would agree with that. It's one of his best works, and he thinks that he got that 4 out of 5 because of his race. Benzino is the co-founder of The Source magazine, and apparently, I didn't think that was a thing, but, you know, it's the early 2000s, and Eminem's new to the rap game, and there were not many popular white rappers, if really any at all, at the time. So how does this affect Benzino? Okay, so Eminem is publicly complaining that his album wasn't rated well because he thinks they're being racist, and by the way, 4 out of 5 generally isn't that bad, but Eminem was so confident in the fact that his album was a beast of an album, which, frankly, I agree, that he actually refused to participate in any interviews with Source magazine, even when he was meant to be promoting his film 8 Mile. So apparently one day, Eminem was performing in Puerto Rico, and Benzino showed up backstage at the concert and tried to get him for an interview, and he was just like, no thank you. You rated my album 4 out of 5. You don't fuck with me because I'm white, etc., etc. No, hard pass. Now, here's the thing. Like, I don't really understand why Benzino feels like he is entitled to an interview with anybody, let alone Eminem, who clearly publicly has talked about disliking him. But regardless, Benzino obviously recognizes that Eminem is that guy at the time. And Benzino talked about these instances in an interview and then proceeded to diss Eminem, which is just frankly kind of crazy. Despite the fact that we're from the future and many of you probably already know the outcome of this, I just want to say up top, dissing prime Eminem, who just came off 8 Mile and the Eminem Show, is, while foolish, I kind of admire the delusional confidence of it, because you don't enter a battle assuming you're going to lose. But here we go. First track is called I Don't Wanna. Now, he doesn't really talk about Eminem until the second verse, so that's where we're going to go ahead and start.
Watch yourself, easy now, young scrapper. Don't you forget I'm no ordinary rapper. Dangerous, no political ties. The rich and famous hate me, I don't poly with 5. Only ride double 3, won't sit in the 5. V12, make it happen. Catch me if you can. See the gun clapping, I'm the demolition man. Make you flip your car, ride 180 on the 3. Doing figure 8s while your lady's calling me. She got a figure 8, she won't stop calling me.
Okay, first impressions, my very first time ever listening to Benzino rap. I don't know why this man thought this would be a good idea at all. In the same way you can immediately tell when you're watching shows like X Factor or American Idol, when I heard the first 2 bars from this verse, watch yourself, easy now, young scrapper. Don't you forget, I'm no ordinary rapper. I immediately knew how the rest of the show you're listening to now was about to go, but let's give him a chance. Let's let him cook. Let's continue listening.
She won't stop calling me. Took her on a date, now she wanna be with me. It's just the life of a gangster. I love it, live it, breathe it, sleep it, bleed it. Talk weed every day, cause I need it. Please believe it, don't get me heated. I make you burn like my name was Ether.
Make you burn like my name was Ether? This man is threatening to ether Eminem. Now, this is particularly funny to me because I literally just recently did an episode talking about the Jay-Z and Nas beef, and based on what I've heard from Benzino so far, I think it's safe to say that whatever comes next is probably not going to be quite an ether, but maybe back in the day, warning shots used to be a lot different. This is clearly one of those. I mean, the song's literally called I Don't Wanna, but I don't think he's saying I don't wanna as in don't make me do it. I think he's saying I don't wanna maybe as in like, I actually don't want to do this, but it's the best choice for my career. I haven't even heard any real disses towards Eminem yet.
Half you niggas can't shoot straight anyway. You know threat, you on the same block every day. You do the running man when you hear the Glock spray. Got my gun in hand when I have a hard day. The only Eminem I know is made men. By the way, he ain't never gonna play me. I'll show this bitch what it really is to be shady. I don't care how much record you sold. You can't walk through the hood without the men in black. Disrespect your mom's bitch, you deserve a smack. It's not a black and white thing, that shit's in the past. I got some white boys from Boston that'll bust your ass, nigga.
I am so disappointed by this diss. I would barely even call it a diss. Let's look at what we have here. You're not a threat. You're on the same block every day. You do the running man when you hear the Glock spray. Okay, the only Eminem I know is Made Men. Get it? Because Made Men is the group that Benzino is in. He doesn't know Eminem. Then he says, by the way, he ain't never gonna play me. Show this bitch what it really is to be shady. Because his name is, he goes by Slim Shady. I don't care how much records you sold. You can't walk through the hood without the men in black. He's you know, because Eminem is white. You disrespect your moms, bitch. You deserve a smack. You don't know Eminem's mom. It's not a black and white thing. That shit's in the past. I got some white boys from Boston that'll bust your ass. Okay, so this diss is nothing. There's nothing going on here. It's not good. So this was how the battle, quote unquote, began. Very seldom when I'm doing these episodes do I actually feel like I've wasted my time when going through a retrospective like this, but the disses were so bad that I actually regret even putting it in the show and getting the video claimed. I'm pretty sure the existence of the next diss from Benzino, Pull Your Skirt Up, is just proof that nobody cared about his first attempt. Let's just give that a try.
Let me start from the beginning. You ain't repping the streets. No. You from the outskirts of Detroit, where the bitches meet. I'm gonna pull your skirt up, expose your true sex, antagonize your label till I get my respect.
I am so grateful to have witnessed some of the better rap beefs of the modern day because, man oh man, does this diss track start out with a whole lot of nothing. Let me start from the beginning. You ain't repping the streets. You from the outskirts of Detroit, where the bitches meet. We're not doing good. We're not doing good at all. He's just calling him a girl. I'm gonna pull your skirt up, expose your true sex, antagonize your label so I get my respect. I'm kind of grossed out a little bit. Like, the beautiful thing about rap and hip hop and just music in general is if you write good lyrics, it really paints a picture. I think beginning a song talking about pulling up this hypothetical skirt of Eminem's to expose his true sex is just weird, and I guess it's more indicative of a time where if you call a dude a woman, it's just like mean. My point is, I don't think Eminem hears this and it like seriously angers him or really bothers him on a personal level. I think he's probably just more insulted that somebody that's so bad at rapping is dissing him to begin with, but let's give the track a fair shot and continue listening.
Till I get my respect. You ran to your manager, ask him how to handle this. 5 shades darker, motherfucker, you be cannabis. No one would care about your complicated rhyme style. Another backpack rapper out of style. Don't let me have to back slap your moms if you smile. I'm serious. If you ain't gonna respect her, why should I? Chin check your Snoopy, put a circle on that eye. My time's never up, cause real niggas don't die.
It just seems like he's really fixed on the fact that Eminem is disrespectful to his own mother in his rap music. And I just want to care about it, but I just can't bring myself to really care about Benzino caring about Eminem rapping disrespectfully about his mother. I mean, to be fair, Eminem at the time wasn't really discriminating. He was kind of being horrible to literally anybody in his music. He just says bad stuff. Like, that's just kind of his thing. I kind of just also refuse to believe that Benzino even really cares about that. I'm going to give this like a few more bars before I just go ahead and see if there's anything else in the track worth reading to you all, because the song is like just legitimately boring.
Real niggas don't die. I'm not Moby, the little puppet on MTV. I bring glasses to your living room so you could see me. Yeah, you sold a lot of units, but you can't be me. The state of hip-hop will continue to be fucked up. You playing by a different set of rules, you got me fucked up. Respect the hood, Marshall, or the hood will take you out. You the real wankster, and I don't care who you sign. Disrespect, Benzino, that ass is mine.
What do you mean by that?
I'm going to be honest, I can't do this anymore. It honestly seems like he legitimately doesn't like Eminem and doesn't rate his music properly because Eminem is a white man in kind of a black man's rap game at the time. It sounds like the exact reason that Eminem was upset with him, he is literally admitting to in the quote-unquote diss tracks. It's crazy. He's like, you play by a different set of rules, you're white, you go to the hood, you need black people with you. I know that you're extremely successful, you sell a lot of records, and it's frankly it just sounds like jealousy to me. I'm not gonna lie. The rest of this track has Benzino saying, "You're not hood, I'm a Boston legend."
Are you sure about that?
No.
He compares Eminem to Vanilla Ice. That aged obviously just terribly. He says that Marshall was unsigned hype until he met Dr. Dre, which, I mean, that's just kind of how things work. Like, people don't know you until you're like signed and promoted. Like, that's not even a diss. That's just the thing that happened.
I'm starting to think.
The song isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, I usually rate diss tracks
It's just not good.
just like I would rate any other track, but I find these so bad that it's not really applicable. Like, I don't really see anything redeemable about what we've heard so far. Now, of course, Benzino was asked about his motivation behind the diss track because people are like, why are you dissing Eminem? Why are you acting as if you're on the same level of like rap as him? Like what's going on? Why are you doing this? Why are you being weird? His response was, quote, "I had a problem with the machine, with the double standard in hip hop. Certain media outlets take to him and look at him as the savior in hip hop and the number one in hip hop and do not recognize the guys out here that created hip hop." Like, who? like Benzino? Who exactly? Who are you? I just have a really hard time believing that, you know, in the early 2000s, when Jay-Z and Nas were extremely prevalent, when Outkast was extremely prevalent, when 50 Cent is extremely popular, like, I just don't think that people were treating Eminem as if he was literally saving the game. Now, I do think there's a conversation to be had about how Eminem was able to kind of spread the word of hip hop and rap to a completely different demographic. That was still happening in the late 2000s and early 2010s when I started listening to rap all the time. There were many people that I knew that happened to be of the Caucasian persuasion that would say, I don't really listen to rap music, but I do listen to Eminem. There's a conversation about why that is and how that happened, but how exactly is that Eminem's fault? And also, has Eminem ever done anything that would lead you to believe that like he doesn't have a respect for the art form or he views black people as lesser or something? Now, thankfully, so I don't completely scrap this entire episode, Eminem would actually respond, even though, you know, he probably didn't need to because who actually cares about Benzino? But Eminem would respond with The Sauce and the well-known Nail in the Coffin, which I know many of you have probably heard of, but haven't gotten the chance to actually listen to. This is the part of the episode where I let my editor take over for just a second.
This episode is brought to you by AC and the Big Derps. The only reason we're able to make long shows like this and play popular music is because of member support. So if you love rap and hip hop and like listening to people get cooked, please consider joining the Big Derps for as little as $1. link in the pinned comment and description, or join our Patreon where all of our episodes are released first, as well as some exclusive content.
Now let's get to the sauce.
It's all fucked up now.
Yeah! New shit! Hey yo, I just want the whole world to know that I did not start this, but I will finish it.
Bro already sounds like Vegeta on the mic. I would personally be shivering my timbers, but that's just me.
Coming up, it never mattered what color you was. If you could spit, then you could spit. That's it, that's what it was back when motherfuckers were straight back and ciphering, fighting for life in this rap for the mic to get past. And you psych, and you gas, and you hype, cause you last, and you might move some ass. If you lost, then you lost. Shake hands like a man, and you swallowed it. When the unsigned hype column, and the source was like our only source of light. When the mics used to mean something, the four was like.
I love how immediately from the jump, Eminem doesn't spend any time going directly into the name calling or anything. It's straight into, this is my relationship with rap music. This is how I came up. This is what is important to me personally. Ciphers, battle rap, and nobody cares about your skin tone. People only care whether you can rap or not. And then he starts going into how people used to view a magazine like The Source, the type of validity that would add to their reputation, their credibility. Also, within seconds of the track starting, you immediately realize the talent gap, the disparity between Benzino and Eminem when it comes to just simply flows and delivery and passion in their raps.
Was like you were the shit. Now it's like the least you get. 3.5 now, this means you a piece of shit. 4.5 or 5 means you Biggie, Jigga, Nas, or Benzino. Shit, I don't even think you realize you're playing with motherfuckers' lives. I don't watch Dre get fucked on the chronic, probably cause I was on it. Now you fucked me out of my mics twice, I let it slide. I said I wouldn't hold my fucking breath to get a 5. Shit, I was right, I'd have fucking died already trying. I swear to God, I never lie. I bet it's why you let that bitch give me that bullshit review. I sat and took it. I ain't look at the shit. We knew you probably try to fuck us with Obi in 52. Fuck a relationship we threw. No more source for street credit. Them days is dead. Ray's got AKs that Dave Mays his head.
Okay, so first of all, it's extremely clear that Eminem was actually legitimately pissed about simply getting a 4 out of 5 score, but then he gives a lot of context as to why that score is so insulting to him. I will say that it kind of shocks me to see or hear, rather, Eminem be so upset by a critic's rating. But to be fair to Eminem, he was very, very early in his career, and considering how many records he sold and how much respect he had garnered from his peers at that time, it probably was legitimately annoying to him to be clearly singled out by this magazine, and it does seem like it's just because he's a white dude. Like, I don't feel bad for Eminem, obviously, but I could understand why he feels personally slighted. He was like, I try to let it slide, but not only has this happened multiple times, but now we're dropping tracks. Like, what is actually good? Also, what I've noticed as I'm taking a glance at the lyrics page here on Genius, there are no hooks, there are no interludes. This is just straight angry raps for the entire duration of the song.
Every issue there's an 8-page Maidman spread. Will somebody please tell whoever grades his head that I am not afraid of this fucking waste of lead on my pencil. For me to write some shit this simple, so listen closely as I break it down and proceed. This OG's about to get smoked like raw weed. You don't know me or my motherfucking mother, you motherfucking punk. Put me on your fucking cover just to sell your little sellout mag. I ain't mad, I feel bad. Here's an ad, here's a poster of Ray and his dad. You wanna talk about some shit that you don't know about? Yeah, let's talk about how you putting your own son out there to try to eat off in, cause you missed your boat. You're never gonna blow, bitch, you're just too old.
So Eminem is straight up saying that the reason why he's trying to push his son so hard, Benzino, is because he's already missed his boat. He's just too old. I love how Eminem also very nonchalantly mentions, like, yeah, I'm going to continue to rap about my mom. You actually don't know anything about her. I'm just gonna keep doing what I want. I think that's like a totally fair argument. I think that this was kind of like a loss for Benzino or Ray or whatever Eminem is referring to him as from the jump, because his argument was never that Eminem wasn't good. His argument was that like Eminem had an unfair advantage and he didn't want to play into it, but you're like clearly treating him differently based off his skin tone, which is kind of wild. Eminem's argument is that like that shouldn't matter. It's just simply about whether you can rap or not, and he's already gained that respect from the ciphers that he grew up doing. Nobody really cared about that stuff. If you could rap, then you could rap, which is basically the plot to 8 Mile. But now we've got most of the serious stuff out of the way, and now Eminem has just gotten to the point where he's like, you actually suck, and your magazine sucks, and you suck, and your son sucks. And this is just like the first part of the first track.
Bitch, you're just too old, no wonder you're sore now. Lordy, you're bored now. I'm pushing 30, you're kicking 40's door down. Bitch, this is war now, and you'll never beat me. All you do is cheat me out of quotables, but you know that you'll always see me on your TV. Cause you gotta stay up till 3 in the morning to see a video played once on BET. So, who has the last laugh? Aftermath, yeah, so on behalf of a whole staff, kiss our asshole cracks. We'll never fold or hold back, just know that Benzino's whack. No matter how many times I say his thing, he'll never blow jack. You're better off trying to bring RSO back. Look at your track record, that's how far it goes back.
Eminem's always been pretty cold with the wordplay, but I do actually think it's worth highlighting a couple of things here. It's one thing to just simply make a good rap song or have a good rap flow, but to be able to not only be exhibiting such solid wordplay, but also be saying like actually cutting things towards your opponents in the diss is pretty sick. We got no wonder you're sore now, Lordy, you're bored now. I'm pushing 30, you're kicking 40's door down. This is war now. You'll never beat me. All you do is cheat me out of quotables, but you know that you always see me on your TV. You got to stay up till 3 in the morning to see your video played once on BET. So it's just, you can tell that Eminem takes a lot of pride and is having a lot of fun in the dismantling of this man, and who's having the last laugh, aftermath. On behalf of our whole staff, kiss our asshole cracks. It's classic prime Eminem, and you can tell that he takes some sort of sixth sense of joy in being able to, frankly, kind of punch down on a much weaker opponent. But to be fair, Benzino is the one that had the authority at the time to kind of try and convince people that Eminem's work wasn't as good as it actually was. And also, to be fair, regardless of what happens to Benzino over the course of the next 15 to 20 minutes of this episode, or with the next half a dozen diss tracks that we might reference, we do have to remember, just as Eminem mentioned at the beginning of this track, Benzino did in fact start it.
So half of the staff up there is fresh out of jail from Boston, bullying and bossing. Dave like a slave, they completely brainwashed him and forced him to stay locked in his own office, afraid of the softest fakest. Wanna be gangster in New York, and it's pitiful, cause I would've never said shit if you'd have kept your mouth shut. Bitch, now what? Hit it, clue, spit it, slang, new shit exclusive. Your land and your who, kid, you know what to do with this use that I'm through. This is stupid, I can't believe I stooped to this bullshit to do this. Who you calling a bitch? Bitch. You owe me.
Him ending the track with "you owe me" is pretty funny. He's like, dude, this is like a really big deal for your publication, and frankly, now you actually owe me money. This wasn't even that good of a use of my time. I wasn't even gonna say anything about it, even though I was annoyed, but since you want to keep pestering me with these weak-ass disses, then fine, I guess I'll do it. I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 on the diss, because in a way, I do feel like Eminem still could have gone harder on this track. The beat is pretty solid. I think the wordplay is pretty good, but I feel like I'm still not hearing Eminem at the peak of his powers. I do feel like this was similar. I feel like his warning shots sound differently from others' warning shots, but it's a really solid track, and if you thought that the sauce was enough to put Benzino away, you would be shocked to discover that just for good measure, Eminem actually dropped another track called Nail in the Coffin that really, really put Benzino in a tough place to where he had to resort to some pretty nasty stuff. But first, here's Nail in the Coffin by Eminem.
This motherfucker, man. So don't shut up, will you? Talking about I owe you. Bitch, you owe me. I'm promoting you right now. Yo, let's put the nail in this coffin.
This inflection, this tone is really funny to me.
This motherfucker, man. This just won't shut up, will you? Let me put the nail in the coffin. I don't wanna be like this. I don't really wanna hurt no feelings, but I'm only being real when I say nobody wants to hear their grandfather rap. Nope. You know men have heart attacks, and I don't wanna be responsible for that. So put the mic down and walk away. You can still have a little bit of dignity.
It's just too bad that Benzino is not nearly popular enough for a song like this to make it to the radio, because the chorus is actually extremely funny and catchy in a way.
Have a little bit of dignity.
I would never claim to be no Ray Benzino, an 83-year-old fake Benzino. So how can he hold me over some balcony without throwing his lower back out as soon as he goes to lift me? Please don't, you'll probably fall with me and our asses will both be history. But then again, you finally get your wish, cause you be all over the street like 50 Cent. Fucking drunk pussy, fuck you, chump. Give me a one-on-one, see if I don't fuck you up.
This is immediately one of my favorite disses because it just starts out with, I would never want to be you. You were 83-year-old fake Pacino. And because Benzino didn't really have any good disses for Eminem, he just kept saying that he was going to like beat him up. And Eminem is literally just taking the angle of, you're an extremely old man and I wouldn't want you to hurt yourself trying to hurt me. If you tried to hold me over a balcony, we would both fall to our death.
See if I don't fuck you up. Trying to jump the Rough Riders and they cut you up. And you put Jada on a track, that's how much you suck dick in the industry. Swear that you in the streets hustling. You sit behind a fucking desk at the source butt kissing and begging motherfuckers for guest appearances. And you can't even get the clearances, cause real lyricists don't even respect you or take you serious. It's not that we don't like you, we hate you, period.
My favorite kind of diss is people don't like you. Actually, furthermore, people hate you. They don't respect you. You are begging for people's time and attention, and people are constantly rejecting you because you're no fun. People don't like you. I love the fact that Eminem just simply draws attention to the fact that my brother works for a magazine, but and is simultaneously out here talking about snatching souls, and it's embarrassing, and we're laughing at you. Eminem doesn't have to pretend to be tough or threaten anybody's life. He just has to tell you about yourself in a funny way.
We don't like you, we hate you, period. Talk about a midlife crisis, damn. Last week you was shaking Obi Trice's hand, now he's a buster? What the fuck's with that? Get on a track, dissing us, kissing 50's ass and asking me what I know about indictments. Bite me, bitch, I got 2 cases and probation, fight me. What do I know about standing in front of a judge like a man ready to take whatever sentence he hands? What you know about your wife slicing her wrist right in front of the only thing that you have in this world, a little girl, and I put that on her. When this is all over, I would never try to make her a star and eat off her.
Eminem is kind of a crazy person at this point. I love how he just so casually brings up the fact that I'm assuming he's referring to Kim at the time, seemingly attempted to cut her life short right in front of him and or his daughter Haley, and he's like, yeah, I've been through things. You don't really know me, bud. Also, he says this like really shocking and jarring thing right after just some really silly lines like, I got 2 cases in probation, fight me. Like, asking me what I know about indictments, bite me. And then he's just like, by the way, I have experienced true horrific events that most people would require like a great deal of counseling to get over. Also, I would never try and make money off my kid like you clearly are. Speaking of, I did not know this until today. Coi Leray is Ray Benzino's daughter. More on that later. Anyways,
In this world, a a little girl, and I put that on her. When this is all over, I would never try to make her a star and eat off her. I don't know shit about no shopping rocks, but what you know about it, pop shops, rockin' spots, where you're the only white boy up in that bitch just ripping, pressing up your own flyers and your stickers, sticking them bitches up after spending 6 hours at Kinko's, making copies of your covers of cassette singles to sell them out of the trunk of your Tracer, spending your whole paychecks at disc makers. What you know about being bullied over half your life? Oh, that's right, you should know what that's like, you're half white.
In one of the sillier moments in this exchange, Eminem just very confidently calls Benzino half white when he is in fact mixed, but he's like black and Puerto Rican, I'm pretty sure. I do find it very interesting though that Benzino makes it a really big deal about Eminem not being black when he's not fully black himself, but that's a whole other thing. What I truly admire about this song is that Eminem goes to great lengths to talk about the struggles that he's faced to make it where he is. He talks about making the covers of his cassette singles and passing out his own flyers and stickers. He talks about selling cassettes out of his trunk. He's talking about spending his entire paycheck at disc makers to sell CDs. Like, buddy's really gone through it to get to the point that he's at, to reach the success that he has, just for Benzino to come out and be like, this white motherfucker gets everything. I could see why Eminem would take this personally.
Like you're half white. Vanilla ice, spill the beans and rice. I'm eating you alive inside. Jesus Christ, if you're that much of a gangster, put the mic down. You should be out killing motherfuckers right now. Kill a motherfucker dead. Kill him dead, bitch. Shoot him in the fucking head. Go ahead, bitch. Slap my mom. Slap the fuck out of her. She can't sue you. She wouldn't get a buck out of you cause you're broke as fuck. You suck. You're a fucking joke. If you was really selling coke, well then what the fuck you stop for, dummy? If you slew some crack, you'd make a lot more money than you do from rap.
You know, I actually thought that Eminem like really annihilated MGK when I talked about his disses in a previous episode, but I have never heard Eminem talk to or about somebody like this in a rap song. I mean, the vitriol that's coming from him is unprecedented. Like, this feels like the energy that I got from Nas's Ether. If you're that much of a gangster, put the mic down. You should be out killing motherfuckers right now. Kill somebody. Do it. Kill him. Shoot him in the head. Go ahead, bitch. Yelling at somebody to go slap your mom. He said, slap my mom. Slap the fuck out of her. She can't sue you. She wouldn't get a buck out of you. Having Eminem scream that you're broke as fuck, you suck, you're a fucking joke. I can't think of the last time that I heard somebody being so mean to another person. This makes Not Like Us sound like child's play, actually. It's like, I used to think, for a while actually, I thought that Not Like Us was so cold. It was really dancing on Drake's grave, but this is so much more cruel. You're broke as fuck, you suck, you're a fucking joke. If you was really selling coke, well then what the fuck? You stopped for, dummy. It's just so blatantly mean. I just never heard anything like it. I'm kind of in disbelief. I'm really glad that I'm listening to this live for the first time, because this is absurd. And I can understand why Benzino probably thought he had to take it to a completely different level, because this is so this is really heavy. This is not like the sauce at all.
Money than you do from rap. You'll never have no security. You'll never be famous. You'll never know what it's like to be rich. Life's a bitch, ain't it, Raymond? Here, let me break this shit down in layman's terms for you, just to make sure that you can understand it. Some cannabis ain't using too many complicated fucking words for you. Here, let me slow it down for you so that you can understand if I say it slower. Let it go, dog. It's over.
Okay, I haven't actually heard this bit, but I read ahead in some of the lyrics, and this outro, the outro to this song, is just straight up bullying.
Talking about, I have motherfuckers calling your crib. Bitch, you ain't even got a fucking crib. You ain't even got a fucking phone. Fucking bum. Threatening you. Shut me down at your little fucking source magazine if I come back when you and attack you. Bitch, you attack me first. Take it like a man and shut the fuck up. And fuck your little magazine, too. I don't need your little fucking magazine. I got double XL's number anyways. And y'all can't stand it because they get bigger than y'all. Oh. And by the way, how'd I look on the VMAs? When you was watching me from whatever fucking TV you was watching me from in Boston. The mean streets of Boston. Fucking sissy. Then you gotta stand up here, motherfucker. Suck our motherfucking dicks. Oh, and for those that don't know, don't get it twisted, yo. The source has a white owner.
This is one of my favorite diss tracks of all time. This track makes push-ups sound like Hotline Bling. It is pretty silly to point out the fact that the source, the magazine that Benzino has a lot of pull at, actually does in fact have a white owner. I find that pretty funny because a lot of Benzino's complaints are about the fact that Eminem is white and he had things handed to him and people were treating him like a savior. But this song not only has like the general wordplay and bars and rhyme scheme that you would expect from prime Eminem, but it also takes this beef to a place where it gets so cutting and cruel and just downright nasty and rude. Like it's really I can't really stress enough how much it feels like Eminem is punching down, even though Benzino has been out here like threatening his life and saying that he could beat him up and he's got Glocks for him that'll knock his socks off or whatever. But I think that Eminem just clearly has the best tactic and angle when it comes to this beef. It's like, you're bad at rapping, you should stop, you're embarrassing yourself, you're really old, you're broke, no one cares about your magazine, you're trying to get your kids paid so that they can get you paid. Like, he is literally just insulting every aspect of this man's life, and his only retort is like, I'll beat you up, you're not really a gangster, and you're white and that bothers me. And it was just never really all that close. At this point in our show today, I really just want to drive home the fact that what Nail in the Coffin did to Benzino's life and career is kind of crazy. So Benzino would go on to release these like parody songs that were based off of Eminem's songs. One of Eminem's most popular tracks is called Lose Yourself, and Benzino released a song called Better Lose Yourself, and as well as Die Another Day. And some of the lyrics in these songs just kind of went to a place that, although Eminem was being extremely like Hall of Fame level mean to Benzino, decided to take it to a place where he, of course, lost the public. He decided to basically threaten the life of Eminem's young daughter for some reason. He rapped, "Tell Haley it ain't safe no more. Daddy better watch your back at the candy store," which is absolutely unhinged. So after this, Benzino started getting tons of backlash, not only from Eminem fans, but just general fans of music, because it's like, why would you expect anybody to like bump this as if it's cool when you're just threatening some little girl just because you're getting smoked in a rap battle? This also resulted in radio stations no longer playing Benzino's music. So just when his rap career was already kind of on the downslope, then not only was he obviously losing publicly to arguably the biggest rapper at the time, then his own tracks couldn't get any play because he just fell out of favor. Because people weren't playing his music anymore, then he just resorted to using his own magazine, The Source, to continue to try and sully Eminem's name. Eminem actually mentioned Double XL, which to this day is a very prominent magazine. Obviously, they have this segment every year where they feature like a freshman class. Everybody's familiar with Double XL. Eminem actually landed a cover story with The Source's competitor at the time, Double XL. Now, by the end of 2003, of course, this started mid-early 2002. At the end of 2003, Benzino found an older record of Eminem's where Eminem was using racial slurs. So naturally, Benzino had that published to The Source's website and also printed the lyrics. Eminem simply came out and apologized and was just like, yeah, there was no excuse for me to be using that type of language, and people just forgave him because he was just upfront and apologized about it. After a few years of Benzino trying to use the source just as a place to try and tank Eminem's career, Eminem, on the contrary, would actually only get bigger after it became public that Benzino actually was part of the reason why Eminem was getting so much terrible press through that magazine. They actually ended up like filing for bankruptcy. He got pushed out of the company. Right after he left the company in 2005, he tried to start a restaurant called Benzino's Crab Trap, which failed within its first year of business. We're just talking about L's on top of L's on top of L's. So Benzino would finally apologize. After a few more collab tracks went back and forth between the two, other people got involved like 50 Cent and Ja Rule. We'll definitely talk about that some other day. But it seemed like Benzino was continuing to try and diss Eminem to try and grasp onto some relevancy, while Eminem would just occasionally hit him with subliminals here and there in his downtime. Obviously, Eminem would find a far more difficult competitor to go up against, one Mariah Carey around 2008 or 2009. So he couldn't mess around with Benzino anymore. He had a real dog he had to deal with. But that's an episode that I have already done. In 2012, it had just occurred to Benzino that, this Eminem guy isn't going anywhere. Actually, between the early 2000s when they started beefing and all the way through the early 2010s, Eminem would somehow only get bigger. So in 2012, he would finally apologize on a program called Rap Fix Live, and he was like, you know what? I can say now that I was, in fact, wrong for it. Took you long enough, bud. I mean, it started in like 2002. Took him a whole decade to come to terms with the extent of this L. Just to be clear, this man had to lose his magazine, his rap career. He had to be harassed and mocked for the better part of a decade by Eminem fans and rap fans alike. Every time there was a new rap beef, people would call back to a time where he got the floor mopped with him, and he finally conceded. Now, this was 2012. What if I told you that Eminem would continue to be a successful and world-renowned artist for another decade, and all the way as early as last year, as recently as last year, 2024, Benzino was out here crying real tears over this Eminem situation that began almost a quarter of a century ago. I wouldn't believe it unless I heard it myself.
I don't got nothing against Eminem. I got nothing against Eminem. Eminem can rap, but I care about us more. I don't want to go through, I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want, for 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem. The fuck you want me to do? Come on, man. My daughter came into the industry figuring that, hey, I gotta be cool with Eminem because everybody's against my dad. You think this shit is fucking cool?
He's sobbing.
Nah, man. We're failing as a people. I don't hate Eminem. I don't know him to hate him. I don't hate white people. Tired of this shit, man. It's just too much. I don't want to be the bad guy.
That is incredibly tough, I'm not gonna lie. Not every day you see a grown man or hear of a grown man crying like that, letting it all out. That is pretty much the entire story of how Eminem really destroyed this man's career and life. I have never seen somebody that age, this man is almost 60, grown man, crying over a beef that started over 20 years ago. Eminem is still out here thriving. I put out a community post a little while ago on YouTube, and many people believe he is still somewhere between a top 10 rapper of all time. Many believe that he is in the GOAT debate, and we have Benzino as recently as 2024 drunk and crying over how his life has been forever changed by his feud with Eminem. But let me know if you learned anything. Let me know what you would like me to cover next when it comes to the history of rap beefs. Thank you so much again to AC for sponsoring this show. And if you would like to show your support, there will be links in the description. If you'd like to become a member, it's literally $1 $1. We also have a $5 tier, $20 tier for other options, but if you want to just make a one-time donation to the show, there will be some links in the description. Support my editor if you want to spread the bread. But that's all I got for you all today. Love you, mean it. Continue spreading the bread and enjoy the outro. Pray for Benzino.
Young gun no one that back calling me splurge. Ride me jump right off the curb. Bentley spray fly like a bird. Spin on the first and the third. Solid, I'm keeping my word. Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Crank up the foreign, I swear. Keep me a stick if they purge. Young gun no one that they working my nerves. I'm about to pull some serve. Fucking this bitch like a perm. Smack on the back of a perm.